can't trust myself. Everything's breaking, everything's taking me to hell.
Let's watch this Sunny V2 video on Ellen DeGeneres. You know, it's a unfortunate time frame, but I was a Ellen DeGeneres viewer as a child. My mom would watch Ellen, so therefore I watched Ellen. And to also put it out there, I also watched the show Glee. I was a Gleek.
Ellen's trying to make a comeback with her new
I heard about this
special,
Netflix
although its reviews
special.
have mostly been terrible. She spends most of the
I haven't seen it, though.
to her being kicked out of showbiz, which began when someone posted just one single tweet. Right now, we all need a little kindness. You know, like Ellen DeGeneres always talks about. She's also notoriously one of the meanest people alive. Respond to this with the most insane stories you've heard about Ellen being mean. The tweet posted in March 2020
I remember hearing about the
received
Ellen
about
drama
enough
stuff, but I
replies
didn't
to
really.
begin Ellen's downfall. I worked at Real Food Daily, served her and Portia a brunch. She wrote a letter to the owner and complained about my chipped nail polish. Not that it was on her plate, but just that it was on my hand.
That's
The work
crazy.
was closing the night before, and this was the next morn.
Oh my god, I'd be fucked. Ellen, I'd be so fucked. I have chipped nail polish right now. I'd be done. Ah, shit.
Almost got me fired. The nail polish story was so unbelievable. The person who wrote it went on Inside Edition.
This former waitress claims she was threatened with a 2-week
Really?
suspension after Ellen DeGeneres complained about, of all things, her chipped fingernail.
How is that real?
I remember just being like, really?
But the stories shared back on Twitter were only getting worse. I once worked at Warner Brothers. One day I was in the elevator and Ellen and her entourage came in. Naturally, I held it for her and asked her what floor she was getting on. Her assistant answered 3rd floor. 30 minutes later, I got a call from my boss saying I was fired because I was harassing her. An old friend worked on her a lot and
What?
smiled and said good afternoon to her one day, and she became unhinged. Who do you think you are? You don't look at me, yada yada. She said Portia was with
This
her.
shit is
and
insane.
said
Is this real? I mean, it seems like it's all. That's crazy though. That's impressive.
embarrassed and tried to calm her down.
Not in a good way.
Has forever changed my opinion of her. The responses went on
She
and
seems paranoid. That's valid.
on and on, all of which being compared to Ellen's classic catchphrase.
I always end each show by saying be kind to one another.
Audience member Dana DiMatteo then went public with her degrading experience on the show.
They tell you, you know, you can't be smarter, funnier than Ellen. She's the comedian and the star, not you.
Don't be funnier than Ellen. That's gonna be hard considering she's not that funny to begin with. If
That is a funny I like that comment. It's easy, but I like it. It's a good one.
you've been a comedian your whole life and you're afraid a random audience member will upstage you, maybe you're just not funny. Dana then revealed that Ellen's completely different when the cameras turn off.
How does the Ellen we see on TV compare to the Ellen you saw when the cameras stopped rolling?
Totally different. She would only speak to the audience when the cameras were rolling. As soon as they turned the cameras off, she would not even acknowledge the audience. She would just sit on the couch, basically.
Which was supported by Hedda Muscat, one of the show's former producers.
Toxic, phony, hypocrite, liar.
Oh my
That's
God.
what she is.
She agreed that things were different when the
she was
cameras
mad
were
about it.
rolling.
We were told from the very beginning, don't talk to Ellen, don't do this, you can't, you know, go into her office. It was very nerve-wracking, very stressful. We all walked on eggshells all the time.
And after the
Wow.
show's DJ also said the same. BuzzFeed
Really?
released their own
I remember the DJ dude. I remember because I literally I liked this show. I watched a lot of the Ellen show. I was into it as a kid, which is very strange. I mean, it made sense. They had like live performances and they'd give cool prizes away and like cute stories and viral shit. So it makes sense.
own investigation, interviewing a further 11 former employees. They were fired after taking medical leave or bereavement days to attend family funerals. One employee who claimed she was fed up with comments about her race essentially walked off the job. Others said they were also
You watched
instructed
Oprah as a
by
kid?
their
I don't know if I watched much
director
of
managers
Oprah.
to not speak to DeGeneres if they saw her around the office.
I mainly know
After
Oprah
the
from Drake and
accusations
Josh.
went viral, Ellen issued a statement within the company. Hey everybody, it's Ellen. On day one of our show, I told everyone in our first meeting that the Ellen DeGeneres show would be a place of happiness. No one would ever raise their voice, and everyone would be treated with respect. Obviously something changed, and I'm disappointed to learn that this has not been the case. And for that, I'm sorry. Anyone who knows me knows it's the opposite of what I believed and what I hoped for our show, yet Ellen's former producer certainly didn't buy it.
So when Ellen says she's not aware of this environment, you don't think that rings true?
It's a lie.
Ellen then took a 2-month break and began a brand new season by addressing the public.
As you may have heard, this summer there were allegations of a toxic work environment at our show. I learned that things happened here that never should have happened. I take that very seriously, and I want to say I am so sorry to the people who were affected. We have made the necessary changes, and today we are starting a new chapter.
She'd then make the promise,
And I am committed to making this the best season that we have ever had.
although the ratings said the opposite.
No, people were
Because
mad.
Only 6 months later, the New York Times published, Ellen DeGeneres loses 1 million viewers after apologies for toxic workplace. It explained that Ellen had been averaging 1.5 million viewers over the last 6 months, down from 2.6 million in the same period last year. The show's loss of more than 1 million viewers translates to a 43% decline, representing a steeper
a hard
drop than
business.
any of its competitors. As a result, Ellen made the announcement,
I am announcing that next season, season 19, is going to be my last season.
adding in the Hollywood Reporter, as great as this show is, and
That's
as
so
fun
many
as it is,
seasons.
it's just
I'd
not
be
a challenge
tired.
anymore. I need something new to challenge me, with her being exposed also clearly having an impact. She'd state the expose destroyed me, honestly. I'd be lying if I said it didn't. And it makes me really sad that there's so much joy out there from negativity. It's a culture now where there are just mean people, and it's so foreign to me that people get joy out of that. These mean people responded stating, even without the controversy, the show hasn't been fun and genuine for years. It may have never been, but at least it seemed like it. But Ellen is tired of it all, and she's lousy at hiding it now. No more dancing by her, no monologue half the time, bad jokes that are dragged out way too long, tons of old clips, tons
this
of
sounds like my comment
self-promotion,
section.
and a guest host every Friday. She then mentioned the possibility of returning to acting, but instead made a documentary titled Saving the Gorillas, Ellen's Next Adventure. It released in 2020,
That's so random.
but with only 100 reviews on IMDb, and this likely being the first time you've heard of it, it's safe to say it performed
I did not
pretty
hear about
poorly.
that.
Ellen rather went back to living a quiet life until April 2024.
I did
when
hear
she
about
made
this.
A new announcement. You may have heard that I'm doing stand-up again. If you want to come see me, I'll be sharing some news tomorrow at noon. As suggested, she'd announce a stand-up tour to be recorded and posted by Netflix, also adding, yes, I'm going to talk about it, referring to her being cancelled. Titled For Your Approval, the special begins with Ellen walking up a flight of stairs, each referencing a headline that ruined
Oh.
her reputation.
That's
She
kind of
acknowledges
fun,
the
I
tweet that
guess.
started her downfall, as well as the
My,
employees who
my reaction to her walking upstairs of things that are saying that why she's canceled. That's kind of fun, I guess. Yeah, it's probably not. Yeah.
out against her, then begins the actual show with a joke about her fall from grace.
You know, I used to say that I didn't care what other people thought of me. And I realize now, looking back, I said that at the height of my popularity. I'm here because I love doing stand-up. I miss doing
I didn't laugh. That was stupid. Stupid joke.
I'm here because I love doing stand-up. I miss doing stand-up, and I like making people happy, and I do care what people think.
Now, this is a pretty respectable angle, as it feels extremely honest. Yet it also seems like a sneaky request for pity, which as a high-profile celebrity you'll simply never get. She then talks about what she's been up to.
All right, well, let me catch up on what's been going on with me since you saw me last. Oh, yeah, I got kicked out of show business.
Then makes some pretty funny jokes about her new reputation.
Everybody heard that I was mean. Everywhere I go, I know everyone's heard that I'm mean. I know when I walk into a restaurant, people are watching, waiting to see if I'll be mean. Oh, look, she's reaching for butter.
That is kind of
Thought
interesting.
she was gonna hit somebody.
Better fixes.
On the contrary, there
Fuck
are
me.
some pretty out-of-touch segments. For example, her joking about her car features, which you'd clearly only find in a luxury vehicle.
Then there's that one, that button that inflates the back of the seat. You know, the one that makes you feel like you're getting spooned by a pregnant woman.
She also makes this out-of-touch joke.
We're all interested in different things. We're all good at different things. I was talking to someone the other day, and they said, Ellen, I don't know how you get on stage in front of people. I could never do that. And I said, well, I don't know how you dry clean clothes.
But as an overall, the special isn't
Yeah, that's whatever.
terrible. Its audience rating of 5.4 stars feels fairly accurate, although as you might expect, simply because it's Ellen, the articles written about it have been pretty brutal. Ellen DeGeneres' unfunny Netflix special leaves so much unsaid. Ellen DeGeneres lets herself off the hook in self-indulgent Netflix special. Ellen DeGeneres is unapologetic, unrelatable, and totally insufferable in her new Netflix special. They'd write, the problem with For Your Approval, aside from the fact that
Why
it's
is the
all-
laughing sound edited in? I mean, it might be due to the fact of just trying to get, you know, but there's probably laughing in the real thing. I mean, if you go to almost any show, especially one that people are paying for, people are pretty supportive just to be supportive. She's scary. I don't know. I don't know anything about her besides this and like her TV show. When will you do a comedy set? Ooh, my whole life's a comedy set.
most never funny is that it feels so disingenuous, so calculated to rehabilitate an image and preserve that triumph for prosperity. Another article stated it's one of the weirdest stand-up shows in recent memory. Half observational punchlines, half closing argument in a trial, featuring DeGeneres as her own defense attorney. Neither half works on its own. Taken as a
jeez
whole, it's
Louise.
an exhausting mess. They'd also add self-awareness is different from taking responsibility. DeGeneres offers
there-
no
whoa,
apologies or
what's
even
the ending of
explanations
this?
for her behavior, yet in other more favorable reviews, unapologetic was used as a positive. I like the fact that she's rather unapologetic. It's highly refreshing and honest. This extreme divide can be seen.
It's interesting, like, no matter what you say, especially as somebody that's gonna be talked about online, it's always gonna just have people, you know, loving you or disliking you or somewhere in the middle or just not caring. It's always going to be one of those really for the most part, it's a very strong opinion, and it's just, you know, there's it's just how it's going to be. So
by the audience reviews on Google. There's almost an equal amount of 1 and 5-star ratings. A sad representation of the black and white thinking that
okay, well, yeah, I don't know if there was really much of an ending for that. She becomes the Joker at the end. That's what happens.
I can't trust myself.